In the true fashion of myself, right? Expansion, growth, realization, etc., etc., godliness. Uh, I was recognizing something, so I went back to one of the chats we was having earlier in this video. Kind of watched it over for a second, took my perspective on it a little bit, so I could comment on this. In this freestyle, right? Like the goal is always to use my music as my expression and to speak my mind. And so I'm saying something like, if she want me or she love me, blah 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 blah, I ain't listening. And then the next line, I'm like, that don't make no sense. As I'm listening back, it do make sense. You feel me? It's like I ain't listening anymore because it's why would I be listening? It's been years. I've been spending all this time in my life doing what I felt I needed to do to heal from something that completely broke my heart. I went through all those emotions. I want this person back, this person, blah, 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 blah. And now I'm starting to find myself again. It's like every time I seemingly find myself and get to that verge of letting go, oh, here those omens go again. Oh, here's this again, that again, that again. Love, this, blah, 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 blah. All these things, what, is that supposed to pull me back? That's an attachment at the end of the day. And it's like, I'm going to die and I'm not going to keep none of those attachments anyway. And you told me you don't love me. And I don't think that anybody that really care about you would ever say something like that. You feel me? Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I said something like that and never even recognized it or thought about it. I'm sure I said so many fucked up things, especially in relationships where I feel like there's somebody that I can, like, express all my anger and everything towards. And that ain't an excuse, but I'm just saying, like, that's why it's better to have an outlet. Número uno. Razón número uno. Porque regulate your emotions so you don't take them out on your bitch or your woman, whatever you prefer. I mean, do what you will, nigga. All right. So anyway, uh, yeah, I'm just kind of like looking at it from a perspective of like, I know you just saying that because that's how you feel, and I know like women and femininity and all those things. So then it kind of seemed like it's on me to make these things harder for myself because I gotta prove a point, right? Or it has to be this way. It has to blah 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 because you did what you did, and I told you to make a decision and blah blah. But nigga, like she not a man. I just don't think it's acceptable to make that excuse like, oh, you don't gotta be as accountable for the things you say and the actions that you do because you a woman. And you go with the feeling and the flow, but that's low key like it's kind of like me saying like, what did I say earlier about blah 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 blah? Like it's the modern it's the modern normalcy to have like men chase women type thing. Like men so involved with fucking getting pussy and making money so that women like them and looking good so that women like them and all this shit about catering to women when it's the exact opposite, universally speaking. Like strong masculine figures and unshakable masculinity is what shapes true societies. And if you look at everything that we see, society's weak as fuck and lame and superficial and yada 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 because they all care way too much about how they look and how they appear and all these different things, which is inherently feminine qualities, by the way. But I don't mean to use that to like shame you into doing something you don't like or blah 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 blah. Like, look, there's a balance to these things. There's a balance to these energies, but there's a polarity when you interacting with other polar opposite energies. You feel me? Blah 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 blah. So then it kind of just come down to this thing where it's like, yeah, all those things is true, but you being quite emotional about it because it like you making up all this extra shit trying to make sense of it when it don't even need to be all that. It is what it is because really it's like somebody ain't feeling loved. They listen to their emotions more than they listen to logic and reason because you a logical and reasonable person at those times and they emotionally feeling neglected or whatever. And so then that new nigga come along, that new shiny thing that make them feel all good in that moment, and they just gonna go with it. And then in hindsight they gonna look back and recognize, oh shit, this wasn't any different than what I was already experiencing. And matter of fact, it's low-key worse because why the fuck would I do this to this person, this energy, this entity, and I done told you, you cannot disrespect me like that. You could try, it's just gonna come back to you. And so now it seemed like I'm seeing all that happen subconsciously, communicatively with the universe, intuitively, like receiving things, like all that different shit. And I'm just kind of like, I don't really care. And like, look, I'm being real. That could be my emotional unavailability to an extent, but really, what I think it is like you showed me disrespect to a level that I don't think is. I mean, was it really though? Was it really that disrespectful? Was it really that this? I think to an extent it was. It's like, you know what you're doing. I just think it's kind of like dudes expect women to think like men. They not men. And so then it's like when you projecting this expectation of masculinity in the world, oh, you gotta be, uh, you gotta think about your actions and be accountable and blah 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 and yada yada yada. Like that ain't how feminine women work, nigga. But shit, maybe I don't know shit, and maybe I'll just be telling myself that. You feel me? Like, yeah, I ain't expecting you to not go with your feelings, but I ain't expecting you to be a fucking like. Um, Men are from Mars, women are from Venus, and maybe I've been thinking too much with my penis. See, I don't even think that's a problem either. You actually need to learn to be in tune with your whole body. You don't need to do shit. Excuse me. That's my personal view from life. And you know what? I'm done sharing that shit with you niggas. Because I think I've said enough. I gave you game on game and it was free. But low key, all the game that I ever learned in my life has been free. Knowledge is free. You can access knowledge everywhere. It ain't my responsibility to make sure that y'all pay me for it. The money come anyway. That's another thing. I think I just like that. You feel me? Like gatekeep, keep it to myself. Don't be telling y'all business. Don't be sharing your emotions. Don't be this. That's weak. That's lame. That's gay. That's this. That's. You feel me? Like, I don't really think that served me too much. And I wonder if it really served me to have this idea of like, look, I'm seeing it, but I ain't listening. Because it's like, obviously, your consciousness is going to reach out when you can't physically. Or maybe your ego's too in the same shit that maybe mine is, where it's like, oh, I'm not going to admit that. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to this. I'm going to block this person. I'm going to whatever, blah, 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 blah. I actually started watching this new show. It's called Californication. It's pretty great. But ain't nothing an accident and ain't nothing a coincidence, right? So of all shows I could decide to watch, like, it was a good show. I really got into it because there's a lot of nudity and I was fucking with that. And so anyway, the storyline's a little definitely not 2026. You feel me? Like, it's 2007 for sure. They say some things and there's some plot lines and things like that like that shit wouldn't fly today. Just because people real sensitive and like, again, they just getting you to focus on the wrong shit, complain about the wrong shit. That's besides the point. So I'm watching this show, and the dude is an artist. He's a writer specifically, but he an artist, right? He a creator. And he ain't been writing, and he dealing with his daughter growing up and his ex-girlfriend, because they never got married. She with a new nigga, his name Bill. His name don't matter. But the point with this is, like, I just think it's kind of interesting, the synchronicity and, like, in the things that speak to me, the shows that I'll be seeing, the movies that I'll be seeing, the things like that almost like show me where my head might be at, or maybe how my head may be programmed by certain things and similar influences coming from different TV shows and blah blah blah, movies, music, etc. And so yeah, I'm watching this shit, and his ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, but they never got married, still in love with him. And he know it. You feel me? Like, he real in tune with his emotions too. That's something that stood out to me as well. It's like, sometimes I'll be getting angry about shit. I need to express shit. I need to whatever. But I also feel like I'll be holding on to it. And to continue though, so basically he always kind of like saying to her, like, I know you still love me. I know you still blah blah. She's like, no, I don't. I love this man. Or whatever. Blah 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 blah. I'm a little spoiler, nigga. I'm only like 8 episodes in. she don't like she do still love this nigga, and she ain't really happy with that other dude. You feel me? And so like, see, he still want her back though. I feel like deep down, maybe I'm not gonna be that vulnerable with y'all. So anyway, um, it's like, you know, the difference between want and need. I think that's interesting as well. Another side note. So yeah, he kind of just going on this idea of like, yeah, I see you, I hear what you saying, but what you doing and what you showing is something different. And it's like, yeah, I vibe with that. I get that a lot. But then at the same time, it's just like, if you can't just use your fucking words, then they're kind of like, oh, I'm gonna just get closed off. Like, it's like, oh, I see that you blocking me, or I see that you posting this, acting like this, doing this. Like, bitch, I ain't stupid though. How fucking dumb you think I is? Where was I at with this? Yeah. So I just think that synchronicity kind of interesting, and low key, maybe it's my problem. Like, it's my problem because I ain't listening, because I'm being stuck up. Because it's like, oh, you fucked up, and now you gotta eat. You gotta deal with it. I'm gonna make you deal with it for the next 80 fucking years, and then wouldn't that low key hurt me though? If you think about it, I'm supposed to ascend this lifetime. I'm not coming back another time, so I gotta get rid of all this karmic shit. You feel me? Like, and maybe some of that karmic shit have to do with like accepting the we not just this one human body, and like there's like sometimes you gotta let Phineas and Ferb, man, they said something one time. I know they ain't say this, but they said in the show, they was like, if you love something, remember Ferb had like a goldfish, or was it Isabella or Vanessa or something like that, and he was like, Ferb, when you love something, you gotta let it go. No, Ferb said it to Phineas. Look, it don't matter. So one of them niggas was like, hey, when you love something, you gotta let it go, and if it love you, it'll come back. I think they was letting Perry go or something like that. Shout out to Pierre, by the way. I love you, and I hope you're doing well. But yeah, I'm finna go eat.